You.
Okay, Jenny. And I'll mow the grass and raise the AIDS, baby.
5 seconds.
Impossible, my dear lady. That's absurd. Unthinkable.
Why?
Because that pipe doesn't go to the marshmallow room, it goes to the fudge room. What the heck is that? Also, take Mrs. Gloops.
Raise the AIDS, baby.
Pixelated mayhem, controllers in hand, battle for unending in a digital land. Red's voice booming, Jason dropping lore. Ross brings fury, Silverbolt has more. Heroes on a quest, fighting media lies. Games, movies, comics, unyielding battle cries.
And I said, I bet it's not formatted correctly, and lo, it was true. To be fair, that was the most last minute I've put things together in quite some time. Because this is a professional podcast.
Yes.
Don't you sass me.
I would never.
And I was going to begin this podcast by singing a song by our sweet angel who's in prison and deserves to be.
Oh.
Deservedly so.
Oh.
Gotham City?
Well, I was going to go for I Believe I Can Fly.
Ah.
I believe I can touch the sky. Do a spoken word version of that one.
Oh my God! What?
Run it through the William Shatner filter.
As I say, like Shatner, huh?
Just surrounded by kids, no reason.
Don't worry about it. For all
What?
these teenagers, don't worry.
Kids like Bugs Bunny. What's wrong with you?
They'll know why they're there soon enough.
I don't know why you're so upset.
Although
Kids love it.
anymore, Bugs Bunny is seen as cultural, racial, basically insensitive across the board.
Good.
Good.
Which
Ah,
made it funny.
She's here.
explain yourself, woman.
It's me. Yes.
Oh dear.
It was me the whole time.
You know, so I'm sitting there with Silver the other day, and we're playing
no.
Mario, and she goes,
Oh,
"What was that movie I was supposed to make a thumbnail for?"
I was like, I'm
Silver.
pretty sure it was Sinners, but I want to be sure.
Good Lord.
Strike while the iron's hot 3 weeks later.
Just to say, it's only been a
Hey.
month. It's fine.
It's done. It's done, though.
Yeah?
Well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it. Thank you.
I thought you were going to bring up another topic. I'm like, don't!
Oh, you talking about your culturally insensitive remarks in Mario? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Racist.
Yeah. Hard R and everything. How dare you?
I mean, to be honest, it's not the worst take we've had, but yeah.
My wiglet.
Yes. That's true.
What did they ever do to you? They're fast with the quick twitch fibers.
Got a quick twitch.
With a quick
In that
twitch.
race.
Well, it just so happens I'm faster. They call it Milano.
No, my God.
Oh, it's a
baby.
good start. It's a good
Yeah,
start.
perfect.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why don't we have that as a soundboard thing?
Oh, we should.
I'm gonna
That's a
make
good
that.
point. You should make that.
You should. Just get it, cut it out, and just whip out the whoa. I thought I
Yeah.
had.
I'll work on it.
Don't we have a So Good?
We do.
Do.
We do. Yes.
And this would be when you. There we go. The creepiest So Good that was ever in film.
It's true.
I'm a
And
busy.
from the creepiest actor, maybe.
Yeah. When Me Too was hitting the right people,
Yeah, for once.
as opposed to just belligerently hitting anybody indiscriminately. You remember when, like, one of the heads of the Me Too movement was the woman was found to having had harassed young men on her films, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
like, the movement blew up on itself because the people who were Me Tooing were also Me Tooing, sort of thing.
Yeah, I want to say it was Asia Argento, I think, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
something like that.
There's even a picture of her with an underage guy laying in a bed together. So, you know, got
Indiscriminate.
that going for you.
It hit everybody.
It did.
I didn't put this on the news because who cares about Harvey Weinstein? But goodness. I don't know if you saw, Ross, if you're aware.
I did. And
Yeah.
boy, what the hell's going on?
Candace has her hot takes.
What a retarded one it is.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people trying to weigh in on the issue. I don't want to go into it. All I'm going to say is the only thing I care about is that justice is done. Is it possible that some people joined the bandwagon and exaggerated things because they were taking down the mighty Weinstein? Sure. He also is a scumbag and probably did most of it.
Yeah. I love that the argument for him, and this is all we'll say, I guess, is, well, you know, it wasn't moral, but it wasn't illegal. It's like, well, the thing is, some of it was, pal. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, and it's such a muddy waters too, because it's like some of the ladies did it with their eyes wide open because it was furthering their careers. So where is that muddy line between him harassing people because of his authority and women doing it because they want something out of it? It gets ugly. Anyway, in a shocking turn of events, conservative firebrand Candace Owens interviewed Harvey Weinstein
God.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
in prison, and they let him wear a suit for the interview. And she made it out like he was railroaded. So that's exciting.
Odd.
And Chance rolls into the chat after we get the controversial part out of the way. We will never speak of it again. Chance says, "What's up, you lumps of fly-ridden roadkill? I, sir, am fresh. It's gooier that way."
Delicious.
Before we get to our big discussion, a bit of old news. Did you see what happened with Fortnite and Darth Vader?
I did.
That was fun.
Did you see where they're getting sued? Was it one of the unions is suing?
Yes, of all things that they're upset about, it's the voice acting part.
Well, I just like that
Weird.
because I mean, I guess to not get too far into it, but like James Earl Jones signed over the rights for his voice and or whatever to be used in this AI thing, probably thinking that his family would be able to make money from it while he's after he's gone.
After he's gone, yeah. Makes sense.
And apparently the union don't like that. So like you and some entity can sign a perfectly legal contract that you are totally fine with, and a third party has a problem with that. Good God.
Well, I mean, first of all, that's stupid. But they have nothing to do with this. They should butt out. On their side, yeah, it's like there are people who are James Earl Jones impersonators, I'm sure, who could get contract work doing that, but now they're out of a job. So yeah, it is up to them to, as a union, defend their constituents, but at the same time, butt out.
Jason, that's not even the funniest part.
The
they're
funniest part.
upset about Darth Vader, an AI version of Darth Vader in Fortnite, responding to people as an AI Darth Vader with very hot and controversial takes, as well as dropping the F-bomb. and the union's response wasn't, "Oh no, this is horrible." It was, "You're taking voice acting jobs away from union workers."
Oh.
By having an AI say the F-bomb.
Oh my gosh.
When it's none of their business. James Earl Jones can do whatever the hell he wants.
That was their main contention.
Yes. Yep. They didn't care that Darth Vader was dumping on the sequel trilogy and
saying slurs. No, that's fine. Whatever.
No.
But we want a guy to get paid for that. God damn it.
The union slides into the chat all angry about who's getting paid.
Good Lord, leave room for the Holy Union.
You could pay a guy who does impersonations to drop those hot racial slurs.
As long as somebody is getting paid for it, they don't care.
A living person, though. I mean, because somebody is. James Earl Jones' estate.
Yep.
But we don't like that, pal.
Gross.
God.
I have been attempting to single-handedly move an entire house, which is fun.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a good time for you.
Which, hearteningly enough, I sent out a text to the group of friends, get nothing. Nothing. And except Ross calls me on Friday and he's like, "Oh, you need some help?" And I was like, "Oh, great." But just dead air for like a week after being like,
up.
I got none of that in the chat.
I did send a
Wouldn't
gift.
show up.
A very funny mummy gif, by the way.
It's enjoyable when you're like, well, I've got to move that really heavy chest full of copper wires. I'm just going to slowly thump it down the stairs one step at a time.
Got it.
Yeah.
I might be able to help this weekend. This weekend coming up, but
A lot of the biggest moves have happened already. We'll see. There might be still stuff to... But the reason why I sent it out is because crisis mode, because stuff has to be moved by like Friday, or like Wednesday to Friday of next week.
Wednesday, Friday.
Ah, I see.
Friday I might be able to help.
Yeah. But Ross scrambled over and he's like, "Oh no, it really is just you." You saw the exasperation on my face and you're like, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
let's see if I can't spend more time and help you out on Sunday."
Yep.
So Ross is going to help out on Sunday.
Just know, Rhett, I've been in that position, so
Yeah,
I understand
get
your
it.
pain.
Well, it's funny. Sometimes you get church groups that come out and help move, and my uncle used to be a part of that group that would do it. And he's like, we would show up to people's houses to help them move, and they would have nothing boxed. So we would have to put it together for them. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, you get everything boxed up, and if and when the church group shows up, all they're doing is taking boxes to the moving van. That's it.
But to
Or the other way
expect
around.
them to be a free, expensive moving group that'll like package everything and bring boxes, and it's like, what are you doing?
No, that sucks.
That's so stupid. Yes. From one town to a nearby town that's not very far away.
No, don't lie. Don't let him lie. He's moving to England.
Yeah.
It's going to become one of those.
It's more like moving houses than really moving locations. It's like 15 minutes away from the place I'm currently at. So I wouldn't get your britches in a tussle there, Chance. You could still send me derogatory packages. He used to send me packages just because he liked to go to Goodwill all of the time, which is the most absurd titles that would confuse the mailman. Well, he would write
Hell
like
yeah.
to His Majesty the Curmudgeon Ret or whatever, and it's like, what do you?
Yes.
Well, and then he would give himself titles.
Hell yeah, brother. I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, well, he's a belligerent fool. Someday he's going to do his movie podcast, and I'll join him, and then he'll have to fire me.
Ah.
Because it won't go so well. I've also been watching some bad anime in the meantime. It's not worth talking about. Yes. Silver has been trying to mask her inability to pee in the toilet. Tell us about that story.
Yeah.
I'm painting my bathroom.
She's trying to
The reason why I
camouflage
masked
her.
it is because it is yellow.
To cover her sins.
It's literally like a butter yellow.
What was your joke, Ross? Even though
Butter up.
she's not a man, she still insists on staying when she pees.
Yeah, she refuses to accept
Oh,
that
yeah.
she can't pee standing up.
I'm just mad that I can't do that.
So this is her way to hide it so nobody can get mad at her.
I was hoping your trim would be another color of yellow.
Oh yeah, the really long baseboard that goes halfway up the wall that's white. Yeah, I should make that a darker yellow.
That also silver is impossible to get a hold of.
As
That's right.
usual.
I tried calling you multiple times. She screens my calls, by the way.
Clearly. Which is rude.
I'm going through a tunnel.
Oh yeah, just every time, like, if I do pick up the phone, just I can't hear you.
He's like looking at your window like, I can see you.
Like, sorry, there's static interference in here.
See,
Pretty
Chance
weird.
supports the message. He says she can, but it would be messy. That's the point of the yellow paint, to cover
Yeah.
for the problem.
Yep.
You know, if you're nervous in the bathroom, painting your bathroom yellow is not going to help. Apparently, that painting rooms yellow actually makes people more nervous.
She's not nervous. She's belligerent. She's peeing everywhere.
Imagine being a nervous peer,
Yeah.
just
Stage fright in
shaking.
your own bathroom.
I was gonna say really shaky pee.
What a podcast.
I know. What you tuned in for? You enjoying yourself?
Well, guess what? I have prepared a massive, interesting conversation because I'm busy.
Yay.
I drove to the town next door like 5 times today. So
Ugh, yuck. Brutal.
I have stuff to do.
Much things.
Goodness. Ross, how's it going?
Pretty good. Not too shabby. We finished Masters of the Air this week, my girlfriend and I.
Oh, what's your overall opinion?
I liked it. I think there were some things where they could have tightened it up a little bit, snugged it up. But other than that, I mean, other than those things, kind of more nitpicky. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Where does it fall in the other two Band of Brothers shows?
Oh,
Or are you going to have nostalgia glasses when it comes to previous?
that's probably. I mean, because I've rewatched Band of Brothers so much because we had the DVDs when I was a high schooler. So I mean, I would rewatch some of those episodes like a lot. I mean, as it stands right now, I'd probably put it third, but not a distant third. It probably goes Band of Brothers, Pacific, and then Masters of the Air. If they had tightened it up with my brilliant ideas, I would probably put it like tied for second with the Pacific.
Oh, that's interesting because you're a Pacific apologer.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very good show. I think it's. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand why people didn't like it, but I think they need to grow up.
It's depressing.
Yeah, it's sad, but like the reality is, like, so would have like if you were in Western Europe fighting, it would have been depressing for you too. But like they were just able to mimic that, like and put it on the screen for you to feel better in the Pacific. And obviously, it's a different kind of war, yada yada. But yeah, I would probably have it tied because like the moments with Buck and Bucky, two separate characters, everybody. They're really good. Like they're back and forth with each other. Like it's really well done. I think it's Austin Butler and Callum Turner are their names, the actors' names. They're very good. They work well off each other. It's great. And I also like Nate Mann as Major Rosenthal, who's like the psycho that keeps wanting to stay, even though he like reached the 28 bomb missions or whatever. Like, and apparently he was even going to go train on B-29s to start bombing Japan. So like, he's just a lunatic.
Well, and it's not just that he was great, but he was absurdly lucky.
Yes,
because as far as the air war over Europe, I mean, skill had some part to do with it, but a lot of it was just a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. It was, and that show did a really good job of showing just how. I mean, if the Germans really, I mean, when they would throw stuff at you, I mean, you were just a sitting duck. I mean, despite the Flying Fortress moniker, these and all the machine guns bristling out of the fuselage. These bombers were not that fast. They couldn't fly so high that planes couldn't get them. They had to sit there and take whatever was thrown at them. And it's, that aluminum isn't going to stop anything from hitting you. So, that German cannon shell's going right through your torso. So it's just, like, horrifying.
Well, on that positive note, Masters of the Air is a good watch, though.
Yeah, definitely watch it. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's a good show and very enjoyable.
Sweet. Jason, how's it going?
Not bad. Started free run.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It is.
For how many months have I been saying free run is really good? And then Silver watches it and she's like, wow, it's really good. Did you not buy it when we told you the first time you were watching all these terrible animes?
I bought it before that. It was on sale on Microsoft, and I bought it. It was just in my list, and I had others that I had bought before, so I was watching those first rather than jumping the queue. So I've had it for a while now. I just have finally gotten other ones out of the way, and so I started watching it. So, also I'm still not even done. One of my sprinkler lines just shattered, and I thought it was a drain problem. So I dug up one spot because that's where the drain is, and that's where the water is coming from. I fixed the drain, turned the water back on, and I'm seeing water just spurting out of the pipe itself. I'm like, oh crap! So then I start digging to try to find where I can cut the pipe to replace it, and the crack just keeps going. I've got a 12-foot trench in my lawn, and I'm still not where I can find the end of the crack to replace the pipe.
So you're just gonna have to replace the whole thing at this point, basically.
Yeah, I just have to get back to a point where it matches up with something on one end. I have one end dug up, and it goes into an L, and at the L, the crack basically stops. But the other side, it's like I said, I got a 10 to 12-foot trench in my lawn, and I still can't find the end of the crack. So
I've had that on the farm, but at least when it leaks on the farm, the water pressure's so much, where it broke.
Right.
I was going to say,
it's shooting like a 20-foot line of water out of the ground. Yeah. And you could just walk right over there, and it's like, well, I got to dig 6 feet down, and then I got to go find it.
Didn't you get attacked by a young bull moving pipe?
Yeah. He hit me and then rolled me 20 feet.
Oh my
And by
God.
rolled me, I fell over and he kept like hitting me along the ground with his head as I just kept tumbling.
And
It
that is
actually
a
got
big
to the-
guy.
Yeah, it actually got
And
to
it-
the. I'm like 6'4", 6'5", and I actually got to the point where I stopped rolling. I was just laying on one side, and he was just shoving me along the ground.
Like, gotta move this man.
And
He
this-
didn't
this-
like that I was watering the grass.
You jerk.
And then what was it? The guy that came over and chased the bull away is like a foot shorter than you.
Oh, he was a tiny fella from our church, yeah. And it's funny, he's on the other side of the fence and he starts yelling. He's like, "We'll just get up." And literally, I've got like 70 head of cattle standing around me, like kicking dirt and sniffing really hard. And he just yells, "Get up." And I'm like, "I can't." And he hears I'm paralyzed. So he calls 911.
Oh,
Oh God.
And then he jumps the fence and just waves, and they part like the Red Sea for some reason. And then I get up and I get over the fence, and then I have to ride the ambulance, which is a fun experience, to the hospital. And I wasn't really in that bad. I mean, I was all bruised on one side, and it wasn't horrific. But I just remember sitting there waiting for some lady to help me, and some guy came in that the police brought in. I don't know for what reason, but he was getting belligerent and they were trying to hold him down.
oh.
And that was my my ride in an ambulance, everybody.
That's a fun ride, buddy.
Well, they should have sped up and done some cool spins or something. It'd been funner.
Tokyo.
Gonna Tokyo drift on the way to the hospital.
Damn right. They better.
Deja vu.
Yes, I've had some interesting experiences in my time on this earth.
They're real fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Stinking bulls.
The jerks.
They got theirs. They're meat now.
Yeah.
Well, they
They've been
became
there.
meat and then got digested and pooped 10, 20
gonna
years
say.
ago.
Yeah, they've now gone through the septic system somewhere.
They're growing grass that someone is also watering to feed the cows.
The jerks.
I was
Being
told.
attacked by another bull.
Yeah. I was told at the time that they were just close to being sold for slaughter. And so they were about as old as they were going to allow them to get, and they normally castrate them. But I was told, and I don't know if this is entirely accurate, that they missed some of the testicles of the bulls, so some of them are a little bit more ornery than normal.
Oh God.
Well, at the time, my grandfather went out to water after I got beat up a little bit, and the bulls were so ornery, apparently he ended up sitting out under the tree waiting for them to calm down and leave him alone for like an hour.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And you're talking a man at the time, he was probably in his 70s.
Jeez.
So, yeah, farm work is a blast. What also is a blast is trying to artificially create controversy by talking about our hot takes about movies, which I thought would be a fun thing to do and not have to heavily prepare a big conversation. And Jason proposed something earlier, which we will talk about anyway. But I thought it'd be fun to just, whatever. So, the challenge, look, they're hot takes and they're just like, that's not very controversial. So hopefully you've thought of something. I thought about doing like a top 5, but I was like, there's no way you guys are going to get through. Get top
Yeah,
5.
I mean, we only found out about this 2 hours ago, so.
Well, think harder is the problem. So we're going to start with Jason's horrible take, and we're going to make fun of him over it.
Good.
I don't know how horrible of a take
Oh,
this
see, we've
is.
already started.
Well, I like The Fifth Element.
Everybody likes The Fifth Element.
Yeah, that's not a hot take.
actually, maybe in our sphere, everybody likes The Fifth Element, but
I've never met anybody that didn't like The Fifth Element.
I mean, it didn't do well when it came out, but I mean, it's
there's
pretty well liked.
plenty of hate for that one. Let's see.
I mean, the moment where the diva sang her song is awesome. Where
Yeah,
they
it is.
literally wrote it so that she could. The intention was to write it so that no normal person could actually sing this, and then you have people that have pulled it off since then. So it's like, well, what's the point? Chris Tucker's awesome in that. That's the best
Yeah,
acting
he
I've ever
is.
seen out of him, because ever since then, he's done everything he can to distance himself and make him out to be like this big masculine dude who's tough and everything. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you were a feminine weirdo like radio host, and it was amazing. Like, you went for it. You went full like Jim Carrey, let go of all inhibitions and be as silly as possible. And he is practically the most entertaining part of that movie. I mean,
Yes,
Bruce
he
Willis
is.
is good, but he's dull by comparison.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is that there's a. I think that Blade Runner is highly overrated, especially in our
I
community.
agree. I think people overpraise Blade Runner.
Definitely. I found it to. I've watched more than one cut, and I find them all to be boring.
Yep. And here we go. Ross, who is a big fan of Blade Runner, probably wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of those cuts are not great. I hate that they later tried to imply that Decker is a replicant, because that's
Replicant,
retarded.
That was
Um,
so dumb.
But that movie rocks. The vibes alone make that movie rule.
Well, and the ending speech is amazing, which wasn't written by the writer. It was written by the actor.
Yep.
And sort of
Yes.
questions the concept of what it means to be human and what it means to be alive and that sort of thing. Like there are really good moments in Blade Runner, which are drug out over way too much time. Visually, it's impressive. You know what I like? I like future that's gritty, that's not always like Star Trek and clean, and because it's like the future's not
Yeah.
going to be a utopia. It's going to be dystopian as we move forward.
Well, I mean, there's certain parts of it that, yeah, maybe look like the ship from episode 1 of Star Wars, where it's just clean and shiny. But you're gonna have places like where you go have Elysium, where you have all the people who are rich are out on the ring world satellite thing, and they're living their best life, and everybody else is down on Earth.
Elysium sucks, by the way.
It did.
It does eternally. It is an eternal suck.
I thought that there were parts of that movie that were okay.
No,
especially
they're
the
not.
visuals.
No, if you have a controversial take, if there's anything redeemable about Elysium,
Well, that's the thing. If you have one thing that's nice about a movie, it's still a garbage movie.
one of the
And
worst
especially
stories I've
just
ever
the way
seen.
it looked. If they got the look
worst.
right, but everybody else sucks, yeah, not really good.
Ross, what do you got for me?
All right, so we all know the wonderful, beautiful Terminator 2.
Oh,
And not as good as Terminator 1. Terminator 1 is the superior film, and I mean, purely, simply, Terminator 1's better.
okay. Well, defend yourself, sir.
Terminator 2 is too clean. The visuals are too clean, too beautiful. I don't
Oh, I'm
like
sorry.
how
It looks good.
Sure, but like I want grit, and I love how gritty and gross LA looks in Terminator 1. And I think the
You don't
Liquid
like
Metal
Bill
Terminator is
Paxton?
lame as shit compared to real robot with skin Terminator.
I see. My issue with Terminator 1 is because the original intention was that the Terminators was supposed to look like someone normal, and because it's the most jacked man on Earth, he stands out like a sore thumb. As that's the
Saying
giant,
Mr. Olympia might
unstoppable-
stand out.
Yeah, well, that's the giant unstoppable robot. I can't remember who were they originally supposed to cast as the Terminator in the first one.
Oh god, the guy that plays Bishop in Aliens.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just a normal guy. It wasn't supposed to look like, a mega jacked guy. Now, it
Lance
works that
Henriksen.
Arnold Schwarzenegger can't act, so it pulls across. Well, Chance, every opinion you have is a terrible opinion. I liked Elysium. Suck a big one.
So he enjoys super lefty propaganda. Well, that's good to know.
Mega space communism. He's a big fan of it. What a terrible film.
You know what, though? I will say
said
this.
it wasn't.
Chance said it was good.
Oh, Chance said it was good.
What a fool.
Yeah, but we all know that he has really.
Every opinion he has about movies is terrible. It's like he was hit in the head as a child, and it left a lump where good opinion and taste used to be.
Instead of the ugly stick, it's just the bad opinions.
The bad opinions.
According to this, O.J. Simpson was originally cast as the Terminator, but they-
And it would have
they
worked.
mixed
And
that.
then when he killed
What?
some people,
What
it
if the-
would have really worked.
Well,
What? It comes it comes full round. It goes fantasy back to real life.
I like that the options. I mean, because I know Lance Henriksen was one of the options, and I think that would have. I would have loved to have seen that version of the Terminator. I think it wouldn't have done as well. I don't know if we would have ever gotten Terminator 2, just because it'd be much more low key and like a weird sci-fi movie, which I would love.
He could have
But,
claimed it was the Terminator, not Charlie, that took over.
You know, I did read recently that in
Ross gets
Terminator
that
2, they were
joke.
thinking about getting what's his name back from the first movie, and making him the T-1000.
Who?
Oh, Michael Biehn.
Yeah, he was the one that basically was the human resistance fighter that ended up
Yeah,
being,
Michael Biehn.
Yeah, they were planning on getting him back and making him the T-1000, but they ended up going with what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Robert Patrick.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
And you know what? Robert Patrick's great in it, and it changed his
He
life
is.
by being a part of Terminator 2.
Yeah. And
Well, Terminator
Robert
1 is a
Patrick.
horror movie, and Terminator 2 is not, which kind of plays out with other James Cameron stuff, where it's like Alien 1 is a horror movie and Alien 2 is an action movie.
and again, Alien 1 is better. But
Excuse me?
Aliens,
Bill,
look, Aliens
another
is
Bill
good.
Paxton hard win?
Aliens is great. Alien 1 is better.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
You don't like Happy Birthday Alien in the in the tunnel? What do you mean?
I
air
like
vent?
I like Game Over Man, and I like
It's great.
the cute little girl that they named Newt for some reason.
Ah, yes.
Who was like, they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Mostly.
Was that comedian for some reason that played the sleazy corporate guy?
Paul
Oh
Reiser?
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just thinking about it, I think
you have
I-
some. Go ahead,
If
Jason.
somebody was like, which one would you rather sit down and see, Alien or Aliens? I think I would say Aliens myself.
Oh. See, here's the problem with your opinions, Ross. They're controversial in a way, but they're also, it's like, I like this good movie over this other good movie.
You know. I bet everybody
So-
says Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time. And it is really good. Terminator 1 is better.
Yeah, I don't.
And by the way, I mean, you were talking about Blade Runner earlier. Blade Runner is only one of the most visually influential films ever.
Yeah.
Like, like anime ripped it
first-
off for about 20 years.
That first scene, the first pan of the city, how they filmed it is amazing.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not,
Genuinely amazing.
it's all in it's all in screen. It's all in one shot. They didn't affect it afterwards.
Yeah, it's like they would do passes over and over again, and just adding different things at different times, and then they layer it all together into one final.
Which is amazing. Which is why it looks good, because it's all on film, on the same film. So they would do a pass of the buildings, and then they'd do a pass with the flames added, and then they would do the. It's so good. Just clever addition. Like back when it's just guys with chewing gum and pipes and just figuring it out. Which is why it was so amazing when they did freaking Mary Poppins and the technology that they used for that, which still blows people away and they can't replicate.
Yeah. They actually rediscovered how to do it recently, like in the past year.
Well, no, they always knew how to do it. They couldn't re-replicate the prism. And some guys started to build it, and they're not as perfect as the originals, and no one knows what happened to the originals.
Oh, God. I hate that.
But yeah, the biggest problem wasn't that they didn't know how to do it. It's just they didn't have the prisms anymore, nor did they know how to make them. Because we just forgot the technology.
Oops.
Well, we developed green screens. They literally painted it with a yellow and then would remove the yellow by splitting it on a film through a prism, which is why you were able to get colors and see-through material that you couldn't get in green screens today.
It was amazing.
Which blows your mind, because the technology literally was better than current green screen technology.
Yep.
But whatever. I'm suspicious about Ross's opinion. Silver. I was about to give you your full name like you're in trouble. You better have come up with something.
I did. Surprisingly.
What do you got?
The first one that came to mind, and I'm like, I don't know how many people agree with this. Frodo's a very boring character. My gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. Think about it. You go on this whole journey with him, and yet you're more interested in the other people's stories. You're interested in Aragorn, you're interested in Gandalf, where he disappears especially. Stuff going on with Saruman. Meanwhile, it's just like, yep, that guy's taking the ring.
You know what, Silver? I'm sorry that the strong heart of the Fellowship is boring for you. I'm so sorry.
Just Frodo. Even Boromir was more interesting.
Well, Boromir is a hero of Gondor. He's the captain and hero of Gondor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's a great guy.
He's dead. He's got more going on than Frodo.
Well, he is kind of a ghost in the extended editions. They had some previously unseen things, but
you know what's funny? Frodo in the book is actually a lot more dour than he is in the movies.
Yeah, true.
So he's a lot more depressing and a little bit more harsh on things. It's like literally Frodo in the movies is softer.
Yeah. I mean, even Sam seems to have more going on. You know from the start, it's like, oh, Sam has never left the Shire. He's gonna go help his friend. He can't wait to get back to Rosie. He's trying his best. He's the loyal buddy. And here's Frodo.
Well, he is carrying the weight of the world. He's practically carrying like the nuke that will destroy all of life on the Earth.
Yeah, he's carrying the nuclear football, which is also leeching his soul. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that's boring.
That is radioactive and killing him as he walks. It's killing him so much that they have to send him back to heaven just to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I hate the character, just compared to others, he's not as interesting. Aragorn's the most interesting, let's be honest.
In the movies, he's actually a bit more dull.
In the movies, yes, he's more dull. In the books, I like book Frodo. He's got a lot more going on.
Well, in the movies, I'm saying Aragorn is more dull.
Oh, Aragorn.
Yes?
Yes. He is. He's more dull he's much more of a heroic figure in the
He
books.
wants to be king. He sees it as his purpose to ascend to the throne. In the movies, he's like reluctant hero.
No.
Yeah.
And you know who my hero was in the books? Until they killed him, Boromir.
Oh, Barbie.
He was the
I
man.
did like that. Yeah, he was. I did like that they gave him a redemptive arc. That the ring was starting to cloud his judgment, and in the end, he was able to atone for that mistake.
All right.
Did hot takes? That's the hottest one I got.
That's the hottest one I got. Well, I've got a lot of hot takes, and it depends on how belligerent I tend to want to be.
We have some comments about Frodo.
Well, because chances. Okay, no, Silver. Frodo's a fantastic character. Just know. Oh, snap! Cat fight. Silver doesn't care for Frodo's great, Silver. How could you? He's carrying a nuke
Frodo.
that's killing him on his
I like
chest.
book Frodo.
Okay, What, you want him to be like, someone has to take responsibility and not just be a doofus and drop stuff into wells. Almost kill everybody and kill Gandalf because of his foolishness of a took, if you will.
Fool of a took.
I love you, Pippin. Do you,
Oh,
buddy?
Throw himself in next time and rid them of his stupidity.
You know what they should have done? Strapped the ring to Pippin and then thrown him into the volcano because he'd have been tied up. He could have done anything.
Catapult him in there. Yeah.
I love the joke that it's like, oh, Legolas immediately takes the ring from Frodo, just shoots it into Mount Doom.
Bounces it off the sun.
Yeah,
Here's my hot take. You know what I hate about the Lord of the Rings movies?
no, him surfing down the stairs.
Legolas
is
doing
cool. I
stupid
don't-
stunts. I hate it. His surfing down the stairs. His weird backflip onto a horse.
That was so stupid.
Him climbing the
Oh, that was the
elephant.
coolest.
It's so stupid.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
And it's like Peter Jackson went, oh, the audiences love this. So we put it in. It's like, it is the dumbest crap I've ever seen.
Well, you didn't like him skateboarding on a shield downstairs and doing orca?
No, I did
I
not.
loved it.
Defying gravity. And then it gets worse in The Hobbit, where he's literally running across people's heads.
Oh, that. Or when he's running up those collapsing.
Falling
The
bricks.
falling tower. Yes. Legolas is
Those
busted.
Hobbit movies are a mistake.
And here's the worst part of that lie. The real hero, when they had their competition to see who could get the most kills, the real hero that won that was Gimli. Yet it
Gimli,
implies
yeah.
that Legolas is apparently a god on the battlefield. And Gimli was actually the one to get more kills.
He is a god twink.
Unforgivable.
Terry.
Unforgivable. Legolas sucks.
I do love that J.R. Tolkien had a huge boner for the elves, and
He
we just
did,
happened
yeah.
to get a director who also did. It's so funny.
Yeah, Peter Jackson sees himself as a hobbit who aspires to be an elf.
Yeah. The elves are the worst part of Lord of the Rings, but whatever.
They're so much better than you.
So amazing and beautiful and perfect, and we could never. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog died. Now I'm sad and die. What a stupid race. What a dumb race. Dying from sadness. What are you, Padme? Get out of here. George Lucas ass writing.
She lost the will to live.
I know I was feeling that by the end of that one.
Here's the thing. We just saw that movie, me and Ross. There's no way that Anakin, one of the most powerful Jedi in the world, didn't know she was pregnant, couldn't sense 2 new lives inside of her stomach, was surprised when she announced that she was pregnant, and there's no way they knew that there were twins. As if they were shocked at the end and Anakin didn't even. Oh,
Nah. You
I
love
lose
it.
the will to live with this bad writing. Oh. I'm gonna let's start with the more mediocre hot take that no one's gonna disagree with because none of you are self-diddling cinephiles. Quentin Tarantino's overrated.
How dare you?
Yeah, see, I knew none of
Yeah,
you
I'm
would
not gonna
care.
fight
Now, I know there are people who would be up in arms. The greatest writer in the world, all of his movies are. I was, calm down, sir. I like less than half of his films.
Yeah.
See, I gotta say, in about Quentin Tarantino, I can't say that I've ever watched one of his films. I've never wanted to. That none of them have ever been pitched to me in such a way that was like, I really got to see that.
Pulp Fiction's overrated. To me. Inglourious Basterds is okay. Django Unchained, Kill Bill, didn't like it. Reservoir Dogs, haven't seen it. I quite liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Hateful Eight's actually pretty good. Dusk Till Dawn, no. Death Proof,
What?
no.
Oh no, definitely not those.
Yeah, just no. Not into it. He's overrated. He thinks
How
too
dare
much
you.
of himself. Yeah, I dare. Thing is, I
He
knew no one's
insists
gonna.
upon himself, Lois.
Well, it's because he has something to say.
Got something to say.
Wes Anderson. I actually quite like Wes Anderson more than Quentin Tarantino, and he is overrated too.
But it's so quirky, Rhett. How could you not
Freaking-
just love it all the time?
Asteroid City is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Doesn't he have another one coming out right now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could be all right.
I mean, it sure looks fun. But,
Yeah.
that's how all of his movies look. The
All of his
Phoenician
movies look
scheme.
like that.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever seen a Woody Allen movie that was good. I think he sucks. Not just overrated, he is actually bad.
I've never seen his movies. I need to. I mean, I am kind of Jewish, so I should watch those movies. It's sort of a necessity.
I think I've seen 2 of his movies, but one wasn't really his movie. He was an actor in it. There's a James Bond movie, Casino Royale, not the one with Daniel
Talking the
Craig.
60s one?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He plays, if I remember right, basically everybody in that movie plays James Bond at one point or another. But he plays Jimmy Bond, James Bond's nephew. And apparently he can't stand his uncle because he's always been in his uncle's shadow. And that turns him into the bad guy of the piece.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
David Lynch is only good when he's making movies that aren't in his wheelhouse.
Oh, I mean, I do love me some Dune. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
And when he
I like
makes
the Dune
a
movies.
movie he really wants to make, it's really bad. It's really stupid.
what about Twin Peaks?
Yeah, but that's not. He took a concept that's not in his wheelhouse and he made it something that's David Lynchian.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Twin Peaks is only good until you find out who did it, and then after that, it's terrible. It's really bad.
Oh yeah, the series finale, the first series finale was terrible. I remember watching that and being like,
Season
"Ugh,
2 is terrible because you already know who did it.
yeah."
They should have
there was
drug it
no
out
reason
for
to go
5
back.
seasons. And then the return to Twin Peaks was dumb because it's just it's like it's like him just indulging in his weird quirkiness. It's a lot like Kojima where Kojima just indulges in his quirkiness and tries to get away with it. Kojima wants to be a filmmaker, and he has to make video games. And also, he is preachy as can be. And that's the weird part, because Metal Gear is good and also bad. Like Kojima games are good and also really stupid. Like at the same time. Like the plot is nonsensical and goes everywhere. He has actual vampires and squid women. Like they're weird stories that should be more grounded stealth combat, but Kojima's just a weirdo who thinks he's clever, but he's not that clever. Because we get a 20-minute cutscene. We get a 20-minute cutscene at the end of Solid telling us about denuclearization. I beat the game so that you can preach to me, Hideo Kojima. Thanks.
I think at this point he could branch out, but I think that if
he has branched out and made bad games.
Yeah, he would just basically, it would be more of Metal Gear.
Death Stranding. Oh, we're trying to connect the world because we're disconnected.
Which would,
I got a baby in a jar.
I swear he goes into these things without an overarching plot and just throws things in to see if they'll fit. And where they don't fit, he shoehorns them in anyway.
It's like me writing an essay at the last minute and somehow pretending it's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Cap Cruz says, I always get Tarantino mixed up with Guillermo del Toro. Del Toro's actually quite good. I like his style.
I'll admit it. I also get the two confused. I don't know why. It just happens.
Yeah, I don't know
Latin
why you would
sounding
get those
names.
two confused.
Yeah, one's Mexican and one's a white guy in America.
Yeah.
I don't know what either of them even look like. It's just based off of name. I'm like, oh, that's the guy who did the Pinocchio. Wait, no, not that one.
No. Guillermo del Toro did Pan's Labyrinth. He's the one that does the weird movies. He also did Hellboy.
Yep.
He also really likes the Spanish Civil War for some reason.
Loves it.
He's really into it.
Despite being a Mexican guy, it'd be like being really into. Like, why would you be into that? But I just love the English Civil War. I don't know what to tell you. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, Tarantino he makes artsy movies, and he's from California. They're actually completely different people. Tarantino's funny looking. They do not look the same, Capgris. They do not. One's a bearded fat guy from Mexico, and the other one's a funny looking white guy.
Guillermo del Toro reminds me of George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, that I could buy.
Yeah, visually.
Guillermo del Toro.
They do
not sensibilities wise, just visually. They look very similar. They're both fat guys with beards, older white hair kind of thing.
Tarantino does
a chin on this man.
I know. Tarantino's not a good-looking man, and he also has a foot fetish for some reason.
Oh gosh, this is not what I expected either of them to look like.
Yeah, they don't look the same. Cap Cruz was also hit in the head at some point in her existence. Everybody looks the same.
They kind of have the same nose, but everything else about them is not similar.
Well, but maybe it's like being colorblind. She's people blind.
She's weird director blind.
All white people look alike to her, right?
Yeah, they do.
But you know what? Let's do the thing that we're all here for. Grandpa Joe did nothing wrong.
Incorrect. He let his family fall into poverty.
No.
The second he saw shut up. Then the second he saw a chance to get a freebie, he said Gibbs that and got out of bed suddenly.
You do realize
he was
that
milking the system.
No. Do you realize the film is implying that the fact that he receives hope and excitement suddenly makes him an invalid, and he's able to burst out of the bed, that he could finally do things?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is providing a good, stable home situation for your grandson, who you love very much, not enough? Oh,
That
I'm sorry.
That
With a
golden
chance
ticket,
of getting a golden ticket
that-
to being rich,
that
that's
golden
enough.
ticket
What a
healed
douche.
his infirmities, Ross.
Just like winning the lottery would. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
What
well,
an
Willy
ass.
Wonka's a magical movie. Real life is kind of shitty.
Well, they sat there eating gruel and like the thinnest soup ever because that douche couldn't get up and walk and go to work,
Well, how come
letting his
you're
daughter and/or daughter-in-law be impoverished washerwoman.
First of
while
all,
his
he's not the only
grandson
person.
gets bullied.
He's not the only person infirm in beds. Why aren't you attacking the other two grandmothers? And
Because the other two are super ancient. They're like 15 years older than him. Have you seen them?
One of them was his wife.
Yeah. He's a man. He should get up and work. What are you talking about?
He was
Of course he put it all on the women.
by the magic of
they're
hope
around
and
you.
chocolate.
Oh my god! Because he saw a freebie and a free ride.
No.
Suddenly, old Grandpa Joe's feet were.
No.
Charlie choose Grandpa Joe to go with him there. He's like, "Oh, Grandpa,
'Cause
you've
he's
always
the
been
best
there
of
for
them."
me. Shoulder to lean on, someone to listen to me. Would you go to the chocolate factory with me, Grandpa?
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
get
use my
some
own money to buy your
suppliers?
tobacco, Grandpa.
Ticket.
I gotta go."
I've got a golden twinkle in my eye.
Because now there's freebies and I can get rich. Screw you, Charlie.
I have a
That's-
hot take right here.
What?
I never liked any of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movies, either the old one with Gene Wilder, who is a genius, or Johnny Depp.
Well,
hell-
Jason,
who the
you're a
hell
bad
are you?
person.
What on God's green earth? I mean, listen, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a horrendous nightmare of a film, and you shouldn't watch it. And it should be stricken from memory and time itself. However, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a glorious, beautiful film
Yes,
that brings
one of the
light
greatest
and
films of all
beauty
time.
into the hearts of children and adults alike. And I
Absolutely.
just Gene Wilder,
I never liked it.
You
I
guys must just love
Yeah.
the new one then.
Well, Jason, you have no
Legitimately
emotions or the
love it.
capacity for love and wonderment.
That's true.
Have you no heart?
saw a golden tree
Oompa,
ride.
doopity
My car accident didn't do that much damage.
I always
I've
felt
got a bad opinion for you.
I always felt that if there was anything Grandpa Joe actually did that was terrible, it was probably the stealing the fizzy lifting drink.
Yeah, and then encouraging
I
his
know,
grandson to lie about it. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mischievous
no,
was.
that was fine, but I don't think he did. See, that the film wants you to think, by contrast, that Charlie is just morally better than the rest of them, and that all of them are sort of average people, and that in the dire
Including his grandpa.
poverty straits that they live in, Grandpa Joe it is not unreasonable for him to be like, let's sell the candy to Slugworth because we're horrifically poor and we're doing terrible. You can't blame
Now,
Grandpa
Charlie,
Joe for
I could
being-
just go get a job, but I'm not
Well,
going to do
hold
that.
on.
So let's
You can't-
commit corporate espionage, Charlie.
Don't go backwards. You can't blame him for having the adult practicality of approaching the situation. But Charlie would even give up overcoming their poverty by doing the right thing and giving the candy back, therefore becoming the controller of the entire factory and flying in an elevator that goes up forever.
Oh my God, we're going into space, Charlie. I can't breathe. Help!
The
We're
magic
freezing.
elevator is somewhat confusing. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it maybe is implying some other things, but we're not going to get into that. It's a beautiful golden movie, and I love it very much.
It is a beautiful golden movie. You know, I love the design of Gene Wilder's office, Willy Wonka's. It's a normal office, but everything's in half. You'd think it would be special or magical. It's just an office, but for some confusing reason, everything's in half, including like the chairs and the table and the hat rack. Like it's just somebody
Yeah.
cut them in half and put them somewhere else.
Expect it to look like Santa's workshop.
Well, imagine you can get two offices out of one just by using all of the furniture halfwise. You could. It's economical. You could save on money. You could have another office with the other half of the furniture.
Truly a brilliant mind.
That's how he saves the money.
If anything, the movie's kind of creepy for children. And I'm really confused at the strange scene where they go through the tunnel and Willy Wonka goes insane.
I was just thinking that.
Where we're going.
And everybody starts screaming and there are worms in the sky.
Yes, there are. And the chicken getting its head cut off.
Like,
I
what's
put
going
something
on?
in the chocolate.
I didn't tell you this, but this is also an ayahuasca farm.
We're literally drugging you without your consent.
It's time to go absolutely apeshit.
Grandpa Joe, the true hero of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Incorrect. The monster of the film. There is no bad guy.
Excuse me. Look, I will agree on Jenny being the villain of Forrest Gump.
How could you, Rhett? She's just an innocent, misunderstood. I mean, I can't. Yeah, she's awful.
Did you know they cut a scene from that movie where Jenny, as a child, kills her father?
What?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there's a cut scene where the dad gets off of the tractor and goes in front to like fix things or get some out of front of it. And as a little girl, she pulls the lever and it runs him over and mulches him.
Hell yeah. Dude,
And
they should have kept that in.
Well, apparently they
God.
cut it because they're like, if we maintain her being sort of a relatable victim, then you still have sympathy for her. But if she murders her dad as a child in the beginning, they were afraid the audiences would never forgive her character, and she would be hated the rest of the movie because she's a murderer.
So, yeah, of a guy that had it coming. I would like her
I don't
more.
disagree with you, but it would be difficult for the audience to see her in a sympathetic light when you're like, oh, here's her taking advantage of Forrest. Also, she killed her father.
Also, she killed a guy.
She did kill a guy.
Killed a guy.
Brick killed a guy.
What were the other classic characters that everyone's, oh, that's secretly the villain and stuff? Jenny was one.
Jar Jar Binks.
No. I mean, that's the conspiracy that Jar Jar Binks is a secret Darth who was really the one in charge of everything. A
Yes.
secret Sith. Who uses fumbling to overcome and beat people in wars.
Absolutely. Well, he's that good. He can disguise himself.
Ahmed Best actually returned to Star Wars in Mandalorian Season 3.
Oh, good lord.
He played the Jedi that saved Grogu from Order 66.
Have you seen the
What's
Have
that?
you seen the defense of the Jedi that survived Order 66 thing they keep using?
No, because they're all supposed to be dead, but go ahead.
Well, have you seen the defense? The defense is, well, I mean, if only 10% made it through, then there's like 100 that could have been around, so, you know, it's fine. It's like, what? What?
Well, the point is he goes and hunts them down. You can't have a last Jedi when there's still some alive. When there's like a bajillion with their own stupid story. That's what made Luke so unique, is he was the last of his kind. Now you just take away all the special. They retroactively destroy the original trilogy in multiple ways. Luke is no longer special. He no longer helps his father overcome and find redemption by killing the Emperor, because the Emperor comes back.
Yep.
It damages the ultimate story of Luke Skywalker, who goes from the most hopeful character in cinema history to being depressed and wanting to kill his nephew.
Yeah.
Who practically dies the way his mother did from sadness.
Oh. What is sad, Rhett?
Well, he is sad.
Yeah, it is
And a
sad. He's
loser.
a sad boy.
No, he's pathetic and he needs to die. Well, we've all learned something, that Ross is wrong.
That I am, as usual, the most correct.
No. The worst opinions in American history. And my hot
correct.
takes are not that hot at
Absolutely.
all. Grandpa Joe is a hero and has the song that slaps the hardest.
That's not by his choice. They wrote the songs before they made the movie, so I will not have this.
I've got a golden twinkle in my eye. I never
Can I
thought my
slip and
life
fall
could be.
in the factory and sue them?
No. Well, I don't
The
know how
dumb who
litigious
lets
they
my
could be.
family live.
I don't know how
Hey.
litigious they could be in industrial England, if I'm being honest.
Or is it Germany? Or is it America? Or
One of those.
Hey, Mr. Wonka, sir, why are all the Oompas Turkish?
Well, are we talking the other film?
No, and no. Did you not know that all the little people they had to get for that movie are from Turkey?
Oh, really?
We won't talk. Yeah, well, they were filming it in Germany, so we won't talk about why there were no midgets in Germany in the early 70s.
I miss
Something had happened a couple decades earlier.
when we could have cliche nationalities like the fat German boy,
Oh,
the American
Gustav
kid
Kloop?
who's into cowboys and television.
now, well, absolutely.
If they
Aren't
had
we
a
all?
Russian kid, he would just be depressed and eating cabbage or something.
Well, he'd be doing the dance.
Yeah, the little
Oh, yeah,
squat
the
dance.
Yeah.
Victory. So let's move
Self-declared.
on. We have new dumb stuff to go into.
The Distracted Gamer Podcast. Big
Brett declares victory, much like North Korea,
pile of news.
Much like North Korea,
completely out of his ass.
my ship was launched successfully, Ross.
It's certainly not capsized right by the dock.
One of the greatest ships we've ever created. Launched successfully. I guess what I didn't do. Key this up ahead of time, and here we go. Both Avengers movies have been delayed.
Oh no!
From May 2026 to December of 2027. That's over a year.
Oh, my
wow.
gosh.
To
That is a heck of a
December,
delay.
December 2026 and December 2027. From May 2026 to 2027. Okay, so it's only months. I got that incorrectly. Do you think things are going well? Oh no, I clicked the ad.
How dare you?
Is this a good
I'm
sign
gonna guess
for the
not.
future? That they don't have
Delays
everything
usually-
keyed up?
Delays usually, in my mind, do not bode well for a film.
It's usually script
Usually-
rejiggering, it would be my expectation.
Yeah, script rejiggering, reshoots. It's usually that they deem that there was something wrong, and that they need to fix it. And
You would
usually,
hope it's- Sorry, finish your thought.
what we've seen recently is they usually fix it in the wrong direction, so it ends up being even worse than what they were going to have to begin with,
I don't know if we can ever
which
know
was
that.
still bad. No, but I mean, take the Snow White recently. It was looking like a piece of garbage to begin with, and then there was some backlash, and they fixed it with a bunch of reshoots, which delayed it. And
But we
we
don't
can
know how
only-
they fixed it.
well, they got rid of the magical people of
That's not true.
diminutive stature.
That's not true.
And replace
Initially,
them
we
with the
thought that
CGI?
initially we thought they were going to be the dwarves. What they ended up being was the companions of the no longer prince anymore, but like thief band. So they're still in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we all thought that they were the dwarves, but they weren't. Apparently, they always intended on horror dwarves.
Really?
Yes.
The way that I understood it is they weren't going to do CGI for the dwarves.
Yeah.
They were going to actually cast people.
That's what our expectation was, but we had so little information from Disney; it was hard to glean anything really.
Well, they
We were
would just
basing
like
it-
trickle stuff out.
Yeah, and we were basing it off. It was like, oh, look, it's the dwarves because they had the correct amount or whatever. But
No.
they weren't. They were like the weird band of freedom fighters. or whatever, some sort of
They were the men in
progressive
tights.
activist nonsense that they were supposed to be.
Tights.
Yeah. So we don't know. It's hard to tell.
Well,
is all I'm saying.
regardless, what we got was they decided to do reshoots, and the reshoots
They did
didn't
make it
seem to
better.
fix anything. Yeah. If so, most of the time, from what I've seen, at least recently, anytime they do a delay to rejigger the script or to do reshoots, it always ends up turning out a worse product. But it's like you said, it is hard to tell. It is hard to tell.
I
but
think
it
what
doesn't seem to be helping.
I think what you could conclude is if it takes extensive reshoots, it was probably busted from the beginning, and it's probably not going to fix it. Like you can make it go from a complete dumpster fire to not as much of a dumpster fire, but it still doesn't work because the original vision is busted.
I mean, I know that in the past, some movies have ended up being good after they've done the reshoots and stuff. It has transpired from what we've learned about the original direction of the movie and things, and then the eventual product that we ended up with, that we did get a better product. But I'm thinking of, in particular, the A New Hope. Apparently, George Lucas's original vision was fixed by his editor, then wife, at the time.
Well, yeah,
into a more
who
coherent
deserved the
story.
Oscar, and George never got one.
Yeah.
Because apparently the original cut was just a mess. We have a comment. Who do you think the Avengers movies are trying to appeal to now? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because
It really is.
they're no longer sort of trying to respect the source material or cater to the fandom who originally liked this sort of content. They tried to readjust to cater to current like social, cultural, political trends, which didn't work because those people, though vocal in what they demand from movies, didn't really watch movies, which
Even if
tanked.
they did, there's so few of them that they were never going to be cash cows to begin with.
It's the squeaky wheel syndrome. It's like they cater to the loudest people, but the problem is those people aren't going to run you. Like a smart company tries to get the general audience to appeal to the largest amount of people, but if you're an activist, what you do is you take a film and then you try and preach to them, and you presuppose, well, these are Marvel movies, people are going to see it, so I'm going to insert my politics to change the minds of the community. When in reality, it's not going to change it, but it's just going to anger people, and the movies aren't going to do well. I mean, they're desperately trying to reclaw back the original audience, but I think you've lost them at this point. I don't think you can get these people back. You've had too many failures that were so bad that they offended people who like Marvel and like the Marvel movies. And it's not just one movie, it's movie after movie after movie, to the point where now we'll get movies, like I've heard a lot of people think of Thunderbolts as all right. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but it wasn't a dumpster fire. And it's like, we're going to get to that moment where they're going to make a movie that's actually good and no one's going to care.
Yep.
Which is a fascinating event to happen, where they make a really good movie and no one shows up for it because they've so damaged their brand at that point that just no one's going to crawl up to see it. But yeah, I don't know who. I think they really want to claw back their original audience, which is why they're doing a lot of the cater to people who like the original stuff, which is why Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. Whether that's successful is another story. But I think they're trying to desperately regain the audience they've so skillfully lost after the last few years.
I think, like you said, the trust is broken. I think that Robert Downey Jr. as Doom is a stunt. I don't think they've actually learned anything. I think they're just going, you guys like Robert Downey Jr., see, he's going to be in the new movie. I don't think they've actually decided, you know what we need to do is we need to go back to what really made these movies good in the first place, what made people want to watch them. I don't think that they're doing that. I think it's just a gimmick.
Well, they're trying to start from scratch with characters people never liked. It's like, hey, everybody, Ironheart. Her comic was canceled because everybody hated the character. Where do you think this is going to go? Really? And then characters people still love, like Daredevil, will make a new series, but not as good. And it's like, well, what are you doing? You don't... The only thing you should be doing with a character you've already established is to try and cater to the people who like that like the character.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you should be doing. I think we made our point. Lots of news to keep going through. Marvel related, I'm going to skip this slightly farther ahead. VFX workers behind Marvel, Disney, and Avatar have ratified the first labor contracts. We might get a union. Now, as not a union fan, they have been abused for way too long with crunch time and overworked hours and poor pay. And of all of the industries, perhaps they need one, or at least one to help push back against the studios. I would prefer contract work to be contract work, but you know, they have been abused for far too long.
Yeah, they've been super overworked.
It's one of those things where it seems to me that unions do serve a purpose, but once they've served that purpose, they need to go away.
Yeah.
It's too much. Too much temptation for corruption. I always liked the one Simpson episodes where he gets elected as the union rep, and he's like, "How much does this pay?" And I think it's Lou says nothing, and he's like, "Oh, unless you're crooked." And then he's like, "Woo!"
Crooked as could be. Wheel of Time has been canceled.
Oh no! Oh,
talking to a podcast where none of us cared about this show.
I was just about to start watching it, but now
I started reading the books several years ago now, before Robert Jordan passed away, and I got maybe halfway through, but each book is a frickin' tome, for one.
Yeah, they're too much for me.
And he basically made me hate all the characters. It got to the point where I couldn't stand any of them and wanted them all to die.
Yeah, that's why I can't read Game of Thrones.
I can't handle this.
They all suck in Game of Thrones.
I can't handle this aggravation, yeah. So at that point, I put him down, and I had a friend who was like, "Oh man, they're so great. You should read them." I'm like, I read to book 6, and I'm like, I'm never picking up those books again. I just was like, no. The characters are just crap.
Anyway, the overly funded, way too much money burned into a giant pit that Amazon spent on Wheel of Time. Spent a bunch of time replacing characters, race and gender, all over the place, to the point where it basically implies that men are at fault for everything that happened in the world.
Oh my god.
Well, and that's why I hated the characters, because they had that same thing in the books.
True fans apparently didn't like it. So anyway, show's canceled. Who cares? Warner Brothers credit rating has been cut to the level of junk bond status.
Oh god.
Yikes.
Warner hasn't been doing well for the past 5+ years, I would say.
God damn, I guess.
Seriously, wow.
Rebranding HBO again.
Well, now it's back to what it was. Why did we change? I don't know.
No one knows. And in sad news tonight, as an angel returns to heaven, we have lost George Wendt from Cheers.
In the arms of the angel.
Jason Sudeikis' uncle.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately. We talked about our Vader news. It was funny. For people only me who would care, they announced they're doing a Dawn of War Definitive Edition.
And I'm sure they won't change anything that will irritate anybody ever.
It's actually not a remake. It's really just an upres. So they're rejiggering the resolution and the just everything, so it looks better, but the game will still be as jank as it always was.
Okay. I'm just thinking of when they both the Grand Theft Auto re-releases, the Grand Theft Auto 3
busted
games.
as all get out, yeah.
Yeah, and looked horrible, and same with Silent Hill.
What wasn't the problem with Grand Theft Auto, though, that they up-res like the PSP version?
I think so. It's been a while, but I want to say it was something really dumb
Because they
like that.
found that there were bugs that were busted in the GTA remaster that were only bugs that existed in the PSP version.
Fucking brilliant. Jesus.
But yeah, hopefully it works just fine, and I'm a big Dawn of War fan. What's your favorite Warhammer 40k game? Interesting. Space Marine Dawn of War 2. Me and Jason ground our way through Dawn of War 2.
Yeah, we did.
They're all good. That's a rough game. Ooh, this is difficult. Armada. I also would have picked Dawn of War 1. No one plays Armada. I always do the niche. Oh no, the border I forgot about. We'll use it later.
Yeah.
Interesting article on IGN where essentially the people who worked on Dragon Age implied that they were absolutely devastated over the backlash and that people wanted to see BioWare fail. Yes, because you made a bad game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, so I like that we're no longer pretending that it was a massive success and everything's amazing.
No, Red, it's amazing and beautiful. What do you mean?
Well, here's the thing. They wanted to see the game fail. Look, if I love Dragon Age and you've ruined Dragon Age, I don't want the game to do well. And you're implying that somehow I have a responsibility to prop up your game. You know whose responsibility there is? You to me. That's where the responsibility lies. And if you don't accomplish that, I owe you nothing. You owe me everything. You're supposed to convince me to buy your game.
Could this also be a case of them ascribing malice where there really isn't any? Where people were looking at this and going, yeah, it's not really my bag, and not supporting it. I mean, sure, there is going to be some vitriol. There is going to be some malice. But at the same time, it's like, for me, I didn't necessarily want the game to do well or bad. I didn't care. Because this game was like, no, it doesn't look good to me. So if you fail, it's really on your head. Because you didn't cater to me, who was a fan of the Dragon Age series, and would have been all for it if this had been a game that had looked interesting and had good story and plot and all that other and characters and all that other stuff.
I mean, I would agree. I actually don't care if people like it. My only point of I want it to fail is I don't like what you've done, and I hope you get rewarded for ruining it. But in the end, if it's successful, I wouldn't care. Like, whatever.
Right. And what I'm saying is that did you have... I think they're attributing malice to the gamers, and there really isn't any. It's more along the lines of, this looks crap, so I'm not going to buy it.
Let's even assume that there's malice. What exactly did I do to make your game unsuccessful? Let's assume there's malice.
Exactly.
So I didn't buy your game? You're pointing the finger at me for not giving you money?
Well, then you rudely talked about it and then dumped it, Brett. How dare you?
Do you
How
really
dare you
think?
let other people know your opinion?
Do you really think the conversation around the game looking bad and being bad was what ruined your game? Do you realize that if the game was good, none of that would have mattered? But because it's bad, now you're going, well, they said bad stuff and people didn't buy it. It's like, no, if it was good, people would have bought it, regardless of the dialogue that existed on the internet. And so it's my fault for not giving you money? Really, it's my fault that I didn't blindly support you because I had to? You know what the problem might have been is you inserted all of the trendy politics into the game that are not popular and controversial. Perhaps that divided your audience. Perhaps when you get really political, it divides your audience. You know what would be really stupid if somebody made a game and it was all about Trump? Because you know what would have happened? Half of the people wouldn't want to purchase said game because it's really political and it's dividing your audience. Perhaps the reason you were unsuccessful is you had LGBTQ and trans messaging in a video game about knights. You literally had the ability to transition your character with top surgeries in a medieval era where that type of surgery would have been insane to consider and would likely kill you because things like antiseptic and the ability to deal with infections would be beyond the capability of people living in a time like this. But no, it's more important that I get representation for what accounts to a fraction of a percent of a possible audience that might purchase this piece of shit. Good job. It's my fault.
should have bought it, Red.
It's not your fault. It's my fault. I accept all responsibility for not throwing money at you to support your politics. Which reminds me, Neil Druckmann came out with a statement where he's like, we just need to ignore the backlash and stay the course. Do you know what that works for? It works for when you're making art. When you're making art and you're like, I'm going to make my art and it's going to be my vision, and that works. You know what it doesn't work for? When you're making a product that has to sell. Because saying, we're just going to stay the course and we're going to make a piece of shit whether you like it or not, then it's going to be a piece of shit. No one's going to like it and it's going to tank your company and you're going to lose jobs. Because believe it or not, you're making a product that must earn money. Period. That's the only it's like when we get a Marvel movie and they spend $200 million on it and then it doesn't do well. And it's like, well, you should have made something that would have done well. Well, yeah, I wanted to make my $200 million political message art piece. And it's like, oh, so you see what you do with that? You do that with like your $15 million movie, not your $200 million movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a good plan to destroy your company, Neil.
But
this
Red,
is a great
this is
plan.
my perfect, beautiful art, and therefore I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter. We're gonna make it.
I'm gonna do what I want to, whether you like it or not.
Well, and I
Okay?
love that he has this attitude, despite and he has said this in the midst of the season 2 of Last of Us eating a big one,
Yes.
which is his story. It's his thing, and it's eating a big one. Like, it's hilarious. Like, yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Neil, baby.
Well, we have Last of Us 2 story-related stuff where the Standard is telling everybody to leave Bella Ramsey alone. Leave her alone. Everybody hates the show, and it's getting worse, and they're complaining about the writing because guess what? It was always bad. And the reason why I brought up this article is not just because the article's implying that they're harassing her, and the examples they use do not sound like they're harassing her. She's a bad actress and not good for the role. And I'm going to read, here are the comments that this is pointing out as we should leave her alone and stop harassing her. I despise the casting for TV Ellie. Does this sound like they're personally attacking her or just saying she's bad cast? How about
Well,
terrible
that's-
casting for Ellie? Does that sound like a personal attack and we should leave her alone?
No.
Or they're criticizing the show and the acting of the main character? How about Bella isn't giving the same energy as Ellie in the game? What great example, Standard, of the horrible comments coming out of the internet.
The first two aren't even about her. The first two are about the people who cast her. They're saying you guys made a mistake in casting her. It's your fault, not hers. She was cast in the role and she accepted it. The last one is just about her acting, saying, you know, there's an energy difference between what we see on the show and what we see in the game. And
Stop
that's a valid
criticizing
criticism.
her with valid criticisms.
Yeah.
I've said worse things about the actress than these comments they posted. Just repost
Now-
my comment.
The thing is that, you know, personal attacks, especially on the actors, I don't get. I think those are a waste of time, and people should stop doing that. But if you're saying, look, this person really isn't a good fit for the role, that's an opinion that's valid. I don't find this person a good fit for the role, and that's not even an attack on her. It's an attack on the person who chose her for the role.
Hey, everybody. They have now banned 14 episodes of South Park you will never see again on Paramount Plus,
Oh my God.
which is why always buy physical copies.
Yep.
I mean, that's it.
Because this is not the first show they've done this to. I mean, they being streamers in general.
Yep.
I mean, Always Sunny, Community.
Community. I actually
over and
have
over again they've done
Community
this.
on Blu-ray, and it has all of the episodes intact. Always buy physical copies. Don't trust them when they decide that this is for the best. And we have a series of the episodes that have now been removed from Paramount Plus that you can never see again of South Park.
Yeah, that's
Big Gay Al's
So
Big Gay Boat
stupid.
Ride. Terrence and Phillips Not Without My Anus.
Oh my god.
Pip Great Expectations. Super Best
People
Friends. I
might
think
can-
that is the Muhammad episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Jared
People
has
might be
AIDS.
offended about these, so let's ban them.
Because Jared's in it. Jared from Subway, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Simpsons did it. I don't know why that's controversial. I don't. Canceled, ironically, has been canceled. Passion of the Jew. That's the when Passion of the Christ came out, and they were worried that, and Cartman was blaming all of the Jews for what happened to Jesus. And Mel Gibson shows up, and he's crazy. You got F'd in the A. I'm going to be honest. I don't know the plot of that episode. 2 days before the day after tomorrow. Does that just criticize global warming?
I think so.
Where they basically fake it and imply that the world's falling apart. Trapped in the Closet
Oh no, Tom.
with
The Tom Cruise episode.
and our sweet angel. And also, didn't they imply what's his name from Pulp Fiction, that he was also gay and he gets trapped in the closet with Tom Cruise?
John Travolta?
Yes, he's in that.
No. Oh yeah. You're right.
Cartoon Wars 200 to 201, Chupacabra, Ginger Cow. So yeah, banning media, it's a good sign. Now, and perhaps more controversial, where you might actually, let's test how our standards are when it comes to freedom of speech. Japanese retailer Surugaya delists 18-plus manga and video games due to issues with partner companies regarding payment methods for adult products. So they are now removing adult stuff because of adult products.
Is that almost like the payment processor is the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that's a problem in the firearm space too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's certain banks and like payment processors that will not work on shops or anything gun related.
Apparently, thanks to John Bernthal, Marvel Comics is bringing back the Punisher.
And I'm sure it'll be really good.
And they're also not using the really bad logo that they changed it to because they hated all of the people that used it because they're alt-right or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, just lean into those people because they like your product. Why would you... Literally, in the comics, they changed his logo to be different because too many quote-unquote alt-right people used it because they liked the skull image. And it was dumb, and everybody hated it. Hey Ross, do you remember when Eminem helped the Punisher fight crime or whatever?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Eminem was in a Punisher comic.
But he is the crime.
Eminem, Punisher. I literally spelled it like M&M's. Here we go. Marshall Mathers, everybody, in a Punisher comic book.
What year is this from?
I don't know. 2009.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Taking names and taking butts and kicking names.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, more Marshall Mathers and Punisher.
Damn.
Yeah, people like the character for the reasons they liked it.
Yeah.
Another
It's
story.
kind of weird that they've decided that he's going to come back with no memories.
With the original logo, yeah.
Yeah. I do like that they're coming back with the original logo and stuff. The other logo was not the Punisher.
No, it's
Yeah.
everybody.
but-
Pedro Pascal stopped Joaquin Phoenix from joining the Fourth Reich.
Oh, thank God. What a hero.
So they waved to the audience, and Pedro intervened quickly from pulling an Elon and pulled his arm down, where Joaquin Phoenix looked at him like, "Don't touch me."
Oh my gosh. That's just a wave. It's not a salute, you freaking morons.
No. If we're going to use the same standard, then if Musk is a member of the Fourth Reich, then so is Joaquin Phoenix, apparently.
Can't believe people are so stupid.
You got to stop him, even though he's innocently waving. I just remember the Reddit articles where it's like, you could never tell me that he wasn't deliberately using the salute, if you will. And I was like, what do you mean? You could never convince me it wasn't. Yeah. So basically, we're now just overtly praising a little mustache man. That's what people are doing now. Really?
Yeah.
That's your take? You'll never convince me otherwise. Well, if that's the take we have, Joaquin Phoenix has now joined the cause.
And what a true believer he is, I'm sure.
A true believer. Lilo and Stitch is doing really well. Also, Mission Impossible came out, and Lilo and Stitch is just destroying the box office. The general sentiment from Mission Impossible is it's okay and kind of boring. Lilo and Stitch people seem to really like, despite the fact that the ending is not the same as the original.
Oh, that's stupid.
I never saw Lilo and Stitch, but for those who have, Silver. Apparently they don't do the family is everything, and she doesn't stay and take care of her sister. She follows her dream and goes to college.
Oh.
Gosh.
Which
Okay.
Some people who are purist about the story don't care for it.
Yeah. The whole thing was about them sticking together as a family.
Yep.
Ohana means family.
Not now. Get out of here, you dumb little idiot. I gotta go get smart.
I'm going to college. I'm going to be a girl
Little
boss.
jerk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So to anybody who would care, what you both now understand, I guess, that why that means a lot.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah, well, there you go. But otherwise, apparently, it's pretty good. If you really like Lilo and Stitch, it's really good, except for the ending where family doesn't mean anything. I need to be a girl boss. Diamond is apparently collapsing on itself with mass layoffs. Apparently, they have effectively halted all distribution of comic books. We could see Diamond go out of business. As opposed to the declared bankruptcy that we had earlier, now they're just not even distributing comics anymore.
Jeez.
The largest comic book distributor is collapsing in live on the internet. And it looks really bad for comic book industry. Maybe if Diamond wasn't a horrible company, or maybe if you didn't ruin the comic book industry, things would be going better.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've heard people that were in the comic book industry talking about like being at these meetings that where all these, different vendors were, and like trying to bring up the problems the comic book industry had like a decade and a half ago, and just being like, nah, everything's fine.
Well, and that Diamond would strong arm people into only being able to access comics through them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway, Jason and Ross, enjoy the news story.
Yeah. So let's see. Which one are you pulling up first?
Well, the one you sent me.
Okay. So Randy Pitchford, who, if you haven't tuned into us before, we don't much like.
Greasy fuck.
I was about to intercept and be like, no, it's Ross's favorite guy. You ruined my joke. You ruined it.
Well, he basically came out recently and said that Borderlands 4, they're not sure on the price. At least he's saying he's not sure on the price, but it could be as high as $80. And then when people took to X to protest the price raise, he basically doubled down and said, if you're a true fan, a real fan, you'll pay whatever it costs to play Borderlands 4. And what I thought was really funny was this: somebody has made a Handsome Jack AI, and they put Randy Pitchford's comments into it, and this is what they came up with. Oh, boo-hoo, $80 for Borderlands 4. Let me break out the world's tiniest violin crafted from iridium and oiled with the tears of whiny vault hunters. Listen, Cupcake, you're not buying a game, you're investing in a premium, galaxy-shattering experience, personally engineered to blast your sad little dopamine receptors into orbit. You think quality loot and chaotic mayhem just code itself? You want guns that sprout legs, sing sea shanties, and explode into loot goblins without paying top dollar? Grow up! Back in my day, I built an entire moon base with my own 2 hands and a metric ton of disposable Hyperion interns. And you're crying about spending a few bucks more to virtually murder skags with style? Please! But hey, if $80 is too steep, there's always a solution. Just don't buy it. More legendary drops for the rest of us, and fewer mouth-breathing freeloaders clogging up my loot pools. Win-win. Stay broke, hero.
Challenge accepted.
To which Randy Pitchford said, boy howdy, Jack GPT, is that how I sound? My bad, but cheers to Duke Nukem and Moxie OG for the funniest thing I'm going to read today. He said, in seriousness, though, nobody likes being taken for granted, and it was not my intent. I'm humbled by the love, blah, blah, blah. But he has said that it's not up to him what the price is going to be, but he's the freaking president of Gearbox. It may not be up to him, but he has input
He has to
on what the
say.
price would be. There's a couple other things in here that people have said things like, let's see, I'm trying to. Maybe it was on the other one. There were a couple of people who were saying, "Yeah, don't do this. Please stop. Just apologize and move on. This isn't fair to your developers. If you care about them, just do the right thing, dude. Randy, we are begging you to stop. Borderlands 4 has so much hype and it's being ruined in a day. Let people want to like and support the game and all the amazing people who made it." I think one of the big problems behind this is that the costs for and this is something that was put in one of the articles. Borderlands 4 has twice the budget as Borderlands
Which is
3.
insane, because Borderlands 3, I mean, I didn't like it as much as 2. Ross genuinely hated it, but that game is that game is very big.
Yeah.
And for the budget to be twice as what is it, like the greatest game ever made? For it to be, it's a big game. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do.
Yeah. And so the thing is one of these articles pointed out the fact that the game industry, the costs have grown so much, but the prices haven't really risen with the costs of doing business.
Well, is that our fault or is that your fault?
No, it's not our fault. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I do understand what they're saying about the prices needing to go up because they're but at the same time, do we really need a budget for Borderlands 4 that is twice that of Borderlands 3? Maybe that's part of the problem here. Maybe part of the problem is that you're ballooning your budgets and then expecting us to cover for you.
Well, two things.
This is just going to make me. I could afford an $80 game, yes, but I don't necessarily know that I want to support this because I don't know if this game is going to be a piece of garbage, and I'm spending close to $100 for it before I even play it. That's ridiculous.
Well, here's the two things. One, if you're going to make the argument that games are costing more because we're spending too much money on them, therefore they should be more expensive. Oh, okay, then all games, the prices should be priced according to how much you spent on it. So suddenly all of these big expensive games that you want people to purchase will balloon to $200 a piece and no one will buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Number two
you are totally correct.
I mean, look, here's a dirty secret. Prices for video games have not gone up in a long time, and if they followed inflation, they'd be like over $100.
Yeah.
We are paying very little money for games comparatively when it comes to inflation. That being said, you've accustomed people to a lower price. And the tactic should be, look, inflation being what it is, games are becoming bigger. We're trying to provide you something with good value. We think it'll be worth $80. Instead of like the snarky response to try and demand people pay like being reasonable about it is one thing. It's like the game's going to be huge. It's going to be worth the price, as opposed to like, no, pay for it anyway. This reminds me of, Ross, do you remember when the PS3 came out?
Yes, I do.
With the extreme price that came out of that thing. We had
$600 back then.
We had a Sony executive literally say, people will work harder to afford it because it's worth it. And I was like, what a delusional take on, hey, it's too expensive. You'll put in more hours because it's worth it. It's like, oh, let's go to work more and pay for our more expensive product. It feels like that. It feels like that sort of comment. That's being snarky and rolling your eyes at people complaining about the price. Believe it or not, not everybody has the same budget that you have. Not everybody has the same income that you have. You're demanding a lot of people to buy a game. As things increase more in price, you're going to start pricing out younger people because they don't got money.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, and like
They're the ones that have the time to spend on your game, but not necessarily the funds to spend on your game.
I just, the thing for me, like, even if the first part's true, he has no control, which, granted, he's been at Gearbox for 20 years, he's very high up in the company, seems unlikely, but let's just assume. The second part's, like you said, I mean, that just sucks. Like, what are you on about, dude? Like, how out of touch can you be?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just something so hilarious about, I mean, and especially Borderlands is in the worst place it's been. The last game wasn't very fucking good. A lot less people liked it compared to the one before that, Borderlands 2.
That's very true.
And on top
two
of
was
that,
sort of the peak, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and on top of that, you had the shittiest movie ever come out.
Yeah.
I mean, literally one of the worst video game adaptations to ever exist. Because not only is it not very close to the source material, but it's also not fun. Because at least you can say something about the Mario movie. It's so fucking weird. Like the bad Mario movie, not the one they've released recently. Yeah. The one from the 90s. Like, but this just so, like, you're not coming from a position of strength. You should be pricing this thing. Number one, you should be budgeting better. And number two, even if you aren't, you need to price this thing where people want to buy it. And not be a smug douche on Twitter. Randy, you greasy fuck. Like, goddamn. What an asshole. Go lose a fucking thumb drive with corporate secrets on it and porn, you dumbass.
The thing is that all he would have had to do is come out and say, look, I understand. $80 is a high price point. And I empathize with you. We're going to try to keep it down as much as we can. But because of ballooning costs, et cetera, we may need to increase the price. And people would have been okay with that. They may not have liked it, but at least that approach would have been like, we understand and we like you, and we're going to try to do what we can to make sure that you can buy this game. But telling us that if you're not a true Borderlands, only true Borderlands fans will pony up for this. And so you're not a true Borderlands fan if you don't. It's like,
well,
screw you.
Even that take falls on deaf ears to a degree, because you're saying, well, costs are going up. And it's like, you're spending twice as much as the last game. You're basically telling me we want to spend as much as we want to, and you're going to have to pay for it. Like, as opposed to be responsible and keep your prices in check, you're now demanding us to pay more with your extremely fiscally irresponsible strategy of spending twice as much as the previous version.
And with no guarantee that this will be a better experience than any of the ones that have come before.
So we want to spend twice as much and make the game more expensive. All right.
Yeah. This is something that, to me, I definitely will not be paying $80 to pre-order this thing. I have pre-ordered games in the past, but I will not be pre-ordering this one because I just don't know if it's going to be worth my time and money.
That's a big deal for Jason, because Jason buys every Borderlands.
That's true. I have all of them.
Even the Telltale one.
I do.
He likes him some Borderlands. Ross?
Oh, yeah. So, as we talked about previously, Bungie is winning, and Marathon is going to be their big hit. Oh, wait, no. Things are going horrible. So this is kind of more of a rumor. Nothing big has really happened. I mean, they had a live stream with two of the developers, like, right after the plagiarism scandal came about, and they had to read, like, a pre-done statement at the beginning of it, which seemed like a ransom. But so the rumor is right now that Sony is delaying, so we know that Marathon is delayed. This has been announced, or I guess it hasn't been announced, but it's been on top of that rumor now. Sony is supposedly canceling paid marketing plans, which is, if true, and it is just a rumor at this point, not confirmed. If that's true, that is wild. I mean, it brings up some questions, because obviously the issue with the art is major. I mean, the game is plastered with this stuff that is plagiarized. And I'm wondering if going back through and having to redo everything is going to take a lot, and because they don't want any of it to be in any marketing, any sort of, it could be used in a court case.
Yeah.
See, I
is
hadn't considered that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering, if that's part of it, is like, oh god, don't do this yet, because we got to go back and fix all of that.
Well,
If that's just the one thing they're going to do, I don't know.
Well, because that's interesting, because I actually assumed when you said they're canceling all the paid marketing plans, that even with the game you're delaying, you want to keep hype up. So canceling all paid marketing plans is really a bad sign, because that's like nigh on game cancellation. Or they're pushing back the release date a couple of years because they don't want to keep the marketing up to keep people interested. But I suppose it could be not as bad if the marketing is plastered with all of the plagiarism stuff, then maybe it's not as horrific if the company isn't going out of business.
Yeah, and it's... And this whole thing has just been a disaster. I mean, there's... You know, people that were with the company are like talking about how morale is horrible, morale being bad, that the upper management is just not doing well with their underlings, if you will. The closed alpha, we talked about that one before, didn't go that well. Supposedly that's being delayed. We'll see. Because, again, this is a rumor from somebody on a paywall podcast of the marketing being canceled for now. I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, supposedly, I mean, like during that live stream that the developers did, they were saying like they're going to make it right with that artist that they stole it from. And we'll see if they do. I mean, I hope Auntie paid. I'm curious to see what she'll get paid. The reality is she has a slam dunk case.
Well, all they have to do is give her a good price as if she worked there, give her a payday, and then maintain all of the marketing and all of the stuff in the game. But if they're now trying to retract, it sounds like now she's going to payday and they're purging all of this from the game, which is going to cost way more money. Just pay her.
Yeah, because I wonder if, because the reality is, I mean, I would wager a lawyer could work out a deal where not only does she get paid as if she were, for her time as an artist, whatever that ended up being for that work was stolen, plagiarized.
Right.
And it gets her name in the credits, and maybe even gets
some royalties.
Her beak a little wet. Yep, some royalties. And I wonder if Sony, I mean, because they are, people refuse to remember sometimes. They are a big, bad, horrible, evil corporation who is greedy and do the shittiest things. I wonder if they don't want to do that. I mean, who knows? I mean, this is all speculation. I want to emphasize I am speculating.
The cost alone to rebuild the game and purge everything that's even related to her copywritten content, that's so much more expensive than just pay her. Pay her for
one
her
would
work.
have to imagine.
Well, it could end up being more expensive for them based on what they may have to give her in royalties if they
depending on
that. But
it depends
deal,
on how unreasonable she is about it. Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is that it would be in my mind they would be able to get to the market quicker if they used that strategy.
Yeah.
And I think even if it's more expensive for them in the long run to do royalties and that kind of stuff, then but that might outweigh the cost that it's going to incur if they delay it for a long time to be able to erase and purge all of the copyrighted artwork from.
Delay is going to be so much more
Yeah.
expensive.
Well, and the thing is, too,
imagine.
like, because my first thought, like you read, is bring her on board, pay her, and then it's not stolen. I mean, it was or whatever, but like if you make her part of the team, but then the problem is, what if she says no? And I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You guys, I mean, especially because, I mean, the art director during that live stream was trying to, like, deflect and, like, say, oh, well, you know, it was somebody that was previously with the company. Homeboy, you are the art director. You should be, like, the buck should stop with you.
He
And on top of
follows
that,
her on Twitter. He should have been aware.
yeah, exactly. And on top of that, we live in an era where it is so easy. I mean, you didn't think to reverse image search anything your people have just to double check? I mean, it'd be one thing if this was Bungie's art plagiarism scandal. It's their fourth in about that many years. So maybe be really paranoid, you know?
Considering this is the fourth time they've been caught doing this, as the art director, I would be super sensitive to anything like this. I would have been like, are you sure this is your own stuff? I'm going to be checking.
Yeah,
I'm going to be checking.
Like, just Google reverse image search stuff. See if anything similar pops up. I mean, was that even done? Apparently not. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, and I also wonder too, before the plagiarism thing hit, there was not a lot of hype. And especially once we saw more gameplay and like learned it was a hero, and that it was already pretty negative. And I think the alpha didn't have that much. I think it was kind of meh-ish. People had some positive things, but they were kind of not super sure. You know, because there's certain things that just aren't there, that need to be there. There's no solo queue. You cannot play as a single player, which is ridiculous, because the two biggest extraction shooters on the market right now let you do that. So they've not tailored this game to let you even solo at all. I mean, it's because it's always harder in those games. Granted, that's the hard route. But those games are made in such a way extraction shooters combine like stealth as well as, you know, being a really fast time to kill shooter. But this game has a slower time to kill. It's clearly been developed for some part. But that's limiting yourself anyway. There's a whole I wonder if there's more going on. To my first thought, maybe they're trying to purge the art from the paid marketing. But I wonder if Sony at this point is, look, clearly something's going wrong here. People are not interested or excited. I don't know. I'm curious to see how it develops, because again, this point, if it ends up being true, goddamn.
It's like watching a car crash.
In very slow motion.
Silver, good input. I like your comments there.
Oh, thank you.
Something. We're out of the bathroom and back in space. What have you got
Thank
that's
goodness,
really
thank you.
stupid, Jason's enraging slide he's gonna bring
Today,
up.
we have the Grim Reaper covered in eyes, wielding a lightsaber against Robin Hood with a 6-foot neck.
Grim Reaper.
Who is also wielding Cupid's bow.
So what? The Grim Reaper can now feel love? Excuse me?
Well, he's,
Yes.
you know.
He'll feel something I don't currently feel.
Oh.
Grim Reaper's that's a bonus. He's got one up on me. I mean, how is
not
this a
yet,
negative?
anyway.
He's covered in eyes. He sees everything and can stab it with a lightsaber. Hey, guess what? He can also stab Robin Hood with a 6-foot neck. It's like those Geonosians in Star Wars. It's like, I wonder if there's a lot of capitation issues.
Well,
Possibly.
yeah. It's all
He-
mech-based combat.
Also, this image you generated looks like a creature from Beetlejuice.
Yes, that was not intentional. It was just the best I could get out of an image generator.
Cousin of Sandworm. Yeah, Cupid's bow is irrelevant. He's a Grim Reaper. Like, this is more of a slam dunk than we've ever seen before.
Well, the thing is that if Cupid's bow, if we grant that it makes people fall in love, he could it could affect the Grim Reaper, like you said, so that he feels love, and he would not want to harm Robin Hood at that point.
Yeah, well, you
Which
know what
would
he'd
mean
want to
that
do
Robin Hood
is hug him with his Reaper powers.
Well,
Although-
I mean, here's the thing we need to ask, though. Because, as we know from fiction we all grew up with, Cupid's bow, you fling out a stick there out of his bow, and it hits people right in the behind. So is this intramuscular sort of a thing? Intravenous? Well, Grim Reaper ain't got those.
Oh yeah, does it get into the blood system? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean,
So
is
we're
it IO?
assuming that Cupid's bow is a poison of sorts.
Well, I mean, it must work somehow, some way.
It could be more of a status effect rather than
I
poison.
always assumed it was more magical based than a poison attack.
I'm with
course.
Matt on that one.
Of course, you can make the argument that love is poisonous.
I mean,
Yeah.
perhaps.
It can be toxic.
It will be the thing that tears us apart.
Have you ever seen Silver look at a cat? It's pretty toxic.
It's terrifying, truly.
Oh, listen to him, kitty.
Her dad
Run.
sent her a cat picture while we were sitting there the other day. And she's like, oh, look at the cat. I was like, you see them every day.
But not like this.
It was a picture of three of them together bathing in the sunlight. It
Oh
was
my
adorable.
God.
Oh, my lord.
Instead of the ugly stick, you were beaten with a cat-shaped pole.
No, I was in fact also beaten with the ugly stick.
No, you're right.
Well, much like me, Silver were never owned love except for the forced love of upon cats. That being said, how does Robin Hood loses? Grim Reaper with a lightsaber. I'm sure. Look, I'm sure it's supposed to be implied that each of these have a negative and a positive, and I'm sure we're supposed to conclude if he's covered in eyes, then it's like ow or whatever. He's a skeleton man. He doesn't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if it works? I mean, what if the bow works? We don't know.
I mean,
What if it just, like,
with
It's him
being
into the bone
covered
marrow.
with eyes? Yes, you're seeing everything, but at the same time, yes, you're seeing everything.
You saying he's gonna vomit? Like people that get their one eye knocked out of their and it makes them vomit immediately.
I'm not
He's a Grim
necessarily
Reaper.
saying that.
He
I'm
doesn't
saying
function
that-
like
that-
normal people.
It could be overwhelming in the sense of you can see all around you. How do you tell which is what's in front of you and what is behind you, and
I mean,
how do you make sense of that visual bombardment?
he's getting the same effect of an ayahuasca trip, honestly. He's going
He's
for
gonna
the
start crying.
Willy Wonka tunnel.
I mean, it's like that thing people constantly say on the internet now about the biblically accurate angels. They got multiple eyes. How are they seeing?
Yeah, exactly.
Wings, multiple eyes, and spinning discs of sorts. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still Grim Reaper. Like, I don't.
And Grim Reaper.
Maybe it's because I
Rob?
hate Robin Hood's stupid face.
Robin Hood
looks
does
like
freak
a-
me out.
Horrifying AI version of the animated Robin Hood.
He is a horrifying AI version of the animated Robin Hood.
I'm making judgments based upon his
He has three
visuals as
hands?
opposed to something logical.
He does have 3 hands.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yes.
freak. Yeah, he needs to
Zoomed
die.
in onto his
Grim
face.
Reaper.
The
All right,
unclean
Grim
must
Reaper
go.
wins and moves on.
Silver didn't even get to vote.
Skeleton. I said
No,
Grim
she
Reaper.
did. She did.
She didn't even get to vote.
Darn the patriarchy again.
Hey, I'm not going to rest until women can no longer vote on this podcast.
Oh, don't worry. I too laugh when someone puts the women's rights books in the fantasy section.
Back to the kitchen with you.
Oh.
All right, that is it for today. Next time on the podcast, we have a hobo made of stone, who is also Amish, against E.T.
Is the Amish the
freeze ray.
negative or the stone?
Hey, what buff is Amish?
I would almost imply the hobo is the negative.
Against
God.
E.T. with the freeze ray, who is also a hoarder.
Oh.
Sounds
Okay.
really messy.
A lot of these are going to be one-sided until we get down the bracket a little bit.
One day we need to fight, like, holiday characters against each other, like Santa versus Jack Frost.
Santa.
Christmas.
That would be a good one. I'll keep that in mind.
Do you have Christmas in France?
Only the greatest film ever. The
Well,
young man
and you
trying to
know
kill
what? The
himself.
girl he's pining over, that French girl next door, is hotter than the girl he was pining over.
Oh, absolutely.
Who was cuter and was into helping him fix his car and was faking not speaking English.
Yeah, she
Because
was definitely the more attractive of the two love interests. I'm
And
glad he
also,
went
we
with her in
get the
end.
most insane drug trip where he imagines claymation hamburgers, like dancing and
Oh
singing.
my
in the
god, I
beginning of the
forgot
movie.
about that. No.
Yep.
And it's really confusing. And it's only slightly less horrifying than young Sherlock Holmes, where Watson gets in a drug trip and all of the pastries try and eat him.
Oh, good god.
You remember that
Oh.
one?
I do not.
Oh,
I cut deep with my references.
You do.
super
I
deep.
appreciate that.
Hey, everybody, it's really awesome. You know what? I've had enough of the three of us. Silver,
I had enough of you.
Silver,
Yes,
all-
what?
all
You
you.
had enough?
it's all you.
Oh, I see. Thank you for tuning in. Come back next time.
Is that a threat?
I never do this. Yes, that's a threat. You can take that as a threat.
You
Come back
better.
next time. We had fun
Better.
this day. Goodbye.
Question mark?
Bye.
I'm gonna make you end this far more frequently.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.
Oh my god, it's so juicy!